Okay, so we're going to talk about the garter stitch cast on. A garter stitch cast on is used in triangle shaped shawls. It allows you to have a nice flat center row of stitches. We call it the center spine. And the reason that's important is it allows these stitches to go flat straight down while your wings are fanning out away from that center spine. And then you can use this as kind of a little playground, I like to think of it as, where you can do like a colorwork design like this Rayado shawl. This is my little swatch sample here. Like a colorwork design like this shawl has. It could be a nice solid spine, like that's a nice graphic look, or you could do a cable or a lace design. It sort of gives you a little extra canvas area to do some design element, and I think it's fun. And the width of your spine depends on your garter tab cast on. So the one we're going to do today is for the Rayado shawl, which has a wider than normal center spine. But this technique works equally. I mean, it's exactly the same no matter how wide your spine is. It can be 1 stitch, 2 stitches, however many you have. I just thought it would be fun to show you this nice wide one because it's a little bit unusual. So the pattern for Rayado shawl calls for you to cast on 3 stitches and then knit 34 rows. I already did that because, it takes a little while. So I have this nice garter tail here. And in case if you lose track and you're not sure how many rows you've knit, you can count your garter bumps. You'll have 1 garter bump for every other row. So you should have 17. So it's like those little bumps there. So you have if you have 17 of those, you did it right. So what the pattern calls for you to do is to knit your 34 rows. So like I knit my last row, and then you are supposed to turn your work. And now you're going to pick up and knit 17 stitches along this edge here. So I'm going to pick up and knit every single little purl bump along this side. And you just leave those other stitches on your needle here. It's a little bit messy and hard to do when you're trying to do it for the camera. So I'm not going to pick up, well actually wait, hold on. See, if you count them, then 1, 2. You're going to pick up and knit every one, and it doesn't have to be like the most perfect thing in the world because it's going to look fine. So we're just going to move along here and knit all of these stitches. So you had 3 on your needles already. You're picking up and knitting 17. So when you finish this step, you should have 20 stitches on your needles. And again, that will vary depending on the pattern you're knitting. So some patterns you might cast on 4 stitches and then knit like 9 or 12 rows. It could be basically anything. And you might mess up and miss a bump, but that's okay. You could just like pick up a stitch somewhere else, like pick up a ladder in between. It's really not going to make that big of a difference as long as you have the right number of stitches on your needles when you finish. Let's see if I can do this a little faster over here. If you've ever taken one of my classes in person, you'll know that I'm a real fudgy, loosey-goosey knitter. I believe that mistakes are learning opportunities, and it's not really a big deal. The nice thing about knitting is that it's very flexible. You can fudge things, and you can also undo it, and your material is still usable. Unlike sewing or painting, once you cut your fabric, it's cut. You can't undo it. And painting, you can paint over your canvas, but that paint is used up, and it's a little bit more final. Knitting is forgiving. Anyways, let's see. Do I have the right number of stitches on my needles? Let's find out. 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, I'm almost there. 1 more stitch to pick up. Sorry. Okay. So now I have 20 stitches on my needles, and now the directions tell me to turn it 90 degrees again. So that means from like this to like this, and now I'm going to pick up and knit 3. You're going to pick up a knit however many you cast on. So if you cast on 4 stitches, you pick up 4. And I always find it difficult to see. You're supposed to pick up like the stitches you cast on, but I find it really challenging to identify those. So I just kind of do whatever. I just find 3 little pieces of yarn that I can pick up and knit into. Look, here's a little leg that I can grab. As long as it's on the right side, you'll be fine. There. And you can see I'm already starting to get the shape. And that's it. That's a garter tab cast on. I hope that's useful for you. Thank you for watching.